For the first time, men and women have collectively agreed that Angel Reese was tripping when she got fouled by Caitlin Clark, even though Angel Reese caused the first foul. You see, after Angel Reese fouled Shawty trying to get the ball, but Shawty ain't getting mad, the minute Caitlin Clark reached for that ball, she want to flop to the floor and try to throw hands. Like, what you trying to throw hands?
Angel Reese pushed Natasha Howard but later became labeled as basketball's biggest dramatic victim when Caitlin Clark committed a tactical foul against her. The incident exposed a clear double standard in how fouls are judged depending on the players involved. While Clark's foul was immediately dissected and heavily scrutinized by commentators, Reese's equally forceful, if not more aggressive, push on Howard largely went unnoticed. This contrast underscores the inconsistency in how fouls are perceived, raising questions about fairness, bias, and the influence of player reputation on narratives within the sport.
Trying to box her out. Angel Reese, not going to let her, gives her a little push to create some space. Very common, not that serious. Sure, you could call it a foul. Little tic-tacky, they might have just missed it. It is what it is. Caitlin Clark sees it, yells push, wants the call, doesn't get the call, gets frustrated, isn't going to let Angel Reese go back up for a layup, goes to try to tie her up, tag it, whatever, get the take foul, gets her tied up, she gets a little twisted, she kind of gives her that little extra shove at the end. Angel's off balance because she's trying to get ready to go up.
If basketball had a Hall of Fame for memory lapses, Angel Reese would be a first-ballot inductee with a shiny platinum plaque. Her shove against Natasha Howard, hardly a little push but more of a hit that could rival an NFL lineman, was as clear as day. Reese used her arms like a battering ram, yet the referees seemed to collectively look the other way. The whistle never blew, no warnings were given, and it was as if the blatant foul had never happened. Treating a teammate like a human bowling pin is far from standard basketball behavior, and the silence from the officials highlights a double standard that's impossible to ignore.
Rebecca Allen goes up for a shot. I believe that's Rebecca Allen. Angel Reese pushes Natasha Howard in her back. Angel Reese shoves Natasha Howard in her back. That's how Angel Reese gets her rebounds. I'm not sure if you guys paid attention to last year. Not all her rebounds. I gotta give credit. She hustles. She does. She's got the motor. But Angel Reese is famous for the nice little, out my way, girl. Let me grab that rebound. It's a foul every time, but she's famous for it. Caitlin Clark sees this push, points at the referee.
This was no casual bump. It was a full-blown demolition derby move disguised as basketball positioning. Angel Reese treated the court like a WWE Royal Rumble, with Natasha Howard as the unsuspecting contestant being tossed over the top rope. This wasn't incidental contact between players fighting for space. It was a calculated, deliberate act, as subtle as a fireworks show in a library. The aggressiveness was obvious, yet the referees somehow turned a blind eye, letting the chaos play out without consequence.
Caitlin did take a take foul, did try to prevent the easy basket. That is indeed the case. Though in the midst of that, of course, I think there was a little extra spice put on it because Reese had shoved Natasha Howard right before that, and Caitlin saw it. It was right in front of her face. Reese shoved Howard in the battle for the rebound. And then Reese was definitely heated. I mean, there's no question about that.
Angel Reese saw Natasha Howard as nothing more than an obstacle standing in her way, so she did what any determined player would do. She bulldozed through her like a toddler lunging for the last cookie. Meanwhile, the referees seemed to be watching an entirely different game, perhaps an invisible match of checkers in the third row, because they somehow missed a shove so blatant it could have shown up on weather radar. The move was so obvious that ignoring it almost felt intentional. Instead of calling the foul, they pretended it never happened. That's the Angel Reese pattern. Commit the foul, act innocent, and then feign surprise when someone dares to call her out later. A game of smoke and mirrors with zero accountability.
Was it a flagrant one? I don't think so. I think it was just a hard foul. And I think Angel Reese overreacted. And to me, Angel Reese gotta stop this role. Like, you're not a villain. You're not that. Honestly, she to me is like that bully that will always give you a hard time until you punch him in the nose. That's Angel Reese. That's Angel Reese, bro. She needs to worry about learning how to win too, because I really believe the real reason why she got mad, for two reasons. The person who fouled her is Caitlin Clark, and she got a lot of resentment for her. And also, she's embarrassed. her team is getting annihilated by the Fever. The Fever straight dogged them, destroyed them, and she's mad that she's losing, and she felt embarrassed.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. When Angel Reese pushed Natasha Howard, she wasn't just making a simple foul. She was testing the boundaries of what she could get away with on the court. The officials, however, seemed to turn a blind eye, so lenient they might as well have handed her a get-out-of-foul-free card along with a complimentary shoulder massage. Meanwhile, Howard, with a resigned look, kept playing as if she'd been cut off in traffic, but had somewhere important to be, choosing to let it go. The game moved on as if nothing happened. No whistle, no review, no dramatic close-up of Angel's face for social media drama. It was standard basketball. If standard means rules are enforced selectively based on jersey color and star power, the peculiar physics of women's basketball become especially clear when Angel Reese is involved. When she pushes, it's dismissed as good old-fashioned competitive spirit. Nothing to see here, folks. Newton's laws of motion seem to take a coffee break. An object in motion stays in motion unless an Angel Reese is involved, in which case physics are conveniently ignored. But when someone else makes contact with the Bayou Barbie, forces so seismic they need to be measured on the RTOR scale come into play. Officials' vision sharpens like hawks. Replay monitors are used more than Netflix, and sports analysts break out telestrators as if explaining the moon landing. It's remarkable how Angel can dish out physicality like Halloween candy, yet reacts with a case of the vapors when even a fraction of her own medicine is delivered. This inconsistency has become a signature. Rules are applied unevenly depending on the player and situation. If inconsistency and officiating were an Olympic sport, Angel Reese would take gold every time, exemplifying the double standards that often go unnoticed in women's college basketball.
Okay. Fever fans, way to boo. Warms my heart. As a Yankee fan, as an Eagles fan, it warms my heart to listen to you guys rain down some boos. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Then comes Caitlin Clark, basketball's blonde bombshell of buckets, committing what has become perhaps the most scrutinized tactical foul in women's college basketball history. Was it a foul? Absolutely. Was it flagrant? Not even close. It was the kind of textbook play that could be used as a master class in Basketball 101, how to stop a fast break. There was no malice in it, just pure calculation. 2 points potentially scored versus 1 foul committed. Clark ran the numbers faster than a Vegas oddsmaker on Red Bull, yet the reaction painted a very different picture. Angel Reese hit the floor as though struck by a wrecking ball, spinning with more drama than a washing machine on heavy duty. It was the kind of performance that deserved an Oscar nomination, more compelling than half the films recognized last year. The contrast between the play itself and the theatrical fallout highlighted the inconsistent standards and flair for dramatics that so often shape high-stakes basketball.
Up close and personal, you see it was a basic foul. They gave her a flagrant foul for this. How? That baby had foul, bro. You about to throw hands and crash out about that foul? Not to mention, she hit the ball. You decided to go flop over, trying to pull a LeBron James. No disrespect to the GOAT, but I'm happy that majority of men and women collectively agree on the internet that Angel just got a problem with Shawty for no reason at this point, bro. Like, now it's just a